when I found out about my own mom's diagnosis of her Parkinson's disease, Theo was already 6 months old. And despite, all that you need to do when your baby is young, pump your breast milk or just breastfeed exclusively or, wash the bottles and all of that, I almost for a moment, actually not even for a moment, I think for a good few days, I almost forgot that I was this mother of a very young baby that also depended on me. I went right into doing mode. I just immediately started searching for doctors for my mom. I went immediately into Googling up, what Parkinson's is. I was panicking for sure. And I think that panic was also exaggerated by the fact that I was, in Thailand. My mom was in the US and that I'm an only child. And that pressure just came on. I didn't even think about my role as a mom at that time, that I had to take care of this young baby and my daughter, who was still very young at that time, at 7 years old. And I think looking back is because I didn't have this mindfulness practice in place. I just went into panic.
Actually, I totally get what you said about how you felt when you learned that your mom got diagnosed with Parkinson, because it was too much and it was so unexpected, and then it was so overwhelming that you had to take care of your baby and your mom, and you were living in two different countries that's so far away from each other. So it reminds me of the time when my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was 5 years ago. So yeah, so back in time, I was applying for my PhD study, and then 2 weeks prior to that event, I moved out of our house after meeting with my mom, because my mom said that she was very disappointed with me. And I was so disappointing to her for not being married at the age of 30. And then I'm the only child. So I was hurt a lot. So I moved out of the house. And then 2 weeks later, my dad called me and let me know that my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. And yeah, it was too much for me to handle at that point. But I was so thankful that back then I had been practicing mindfulness for 3 years. I knew that the only way out of such situation, of such dilemma, accepting it and live with it, really I got to live with it, because at the end of the day, it's life. Life is full of unexpected and unwanted events, and only by accepting that fact can we regain the calmness, and then can we regain the mental strength to get the situation sorted. And that's how it went. So thanks to all that mindfulness practices, I can regain my calmness and then my mental strength, and so that I can focus on figure out ways to take care of my mom. Because back in time, I was totally new with cancer. I did not know anything about it, and then my mom, she always lived very healthily. She ate so well, and then she worked out on a daily basis. So basically, there was no solid reason for her to get disease. And actually, prior to that event, she never got hospitalized before. She never got sick. So it was like a huge surprise for her and for us as well. But then it happened out of sudden. And then we got to live with it, take care of her, finish my PhD application. And, really the good things came afterwards. So, finally, her treatment went well. And we're so lucky that she's still very healthy until now.
Yeah.
And, that incident helped to reunite our family. So prior to that, our relationship, me and my mom, my dad and my mom, was broken. And because of that incident, it brought us together and learned to understand and to respect each other. And so, afterwards, our relationship really, got better. And now I learned to respect my mom concerns more, and my mom learned to respect my stubbornness more. So we're pretty good now. So actually, I have to say that even though it was unexpected and unwanted, definitely, but I'm thankful for what happened. And so also thanks to that event, I once again understand that only by accepting the unwanted event, I can get on top of it. So many other unwanted events has happened after that, that event, but I can take it. And so, like the most recent one with my dad, I think my resilience has got much better, and I'm very thankful for that.
It seems like also you accepting the inevitable, that our parents are aging, and that with aging comes sometimes illnesses. And that's the inevitable. And I think with that, you're also accepting the impermanence of life. And I think mindfulness has taught me that, nothing is permanent. And that sometimes impermanence is actually a good thing, because without impermanence, you don't have progress. You stagnate. But to be honest, it's still really hard for me to accept impermanence of my mom's vitality. As she ages, I witness, I bear witness to the fact that her vitality is not like the way it was when I was a child. So to bear witness to the degeneration of her vitality and her health due to Parkinson's, it's really hard, even though I do, sitting meditations, I do consciousness breathing, I journal. I have to say, it's still very much an uphill battle. How do you deal with that?
You're right. And I'm just the same. Like even now, sometimes when I think that, my parents, they're really older and they have reached the points where their health is declining.
Yeah.
And that would happen more in the future. So I'm still scared of that. And of course, the prospect of losing our beloved parents is really, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing that I learned on the way is that we got to accept the situation. That's the great thing. But prior to that, we got to accept that we cannot accept it at this point. So
Yeah,
accept and acceptance.
yeah, accept unacceptance. Exactly.
Yeah. So it means that I feel scared right now, and
Mm-hmm.
I accept that I feel scared right now. And after thinking so, I feel some blindness in my mind, and then somehow it gives me, hope that
Mm.
I can work on it.
So you
And
mean by accepting that right now I'm suffering, by accepting that you can't accept the impermanence
hmm,
of your parents' uh, vitality,
hmm,
you're saying that that lessens your suffering.
right.
Mm. And that gives you more clarity. How does it give you more clarity and calmness?
Yeah, it gives me more clarity, and um, I can also see that as I share in our previous chat,
Yeah.
worries or sadness are just other names for love. So
Mm.
it just means that I love my parents so much as you towards your mom, towards your
Mm.
parents. We love our parents so much. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, worry or sadness are totally acceptable.
Mm. I think when you put it that way,
Mm,
it does feel better. I mean, you just saying that way already made me feel better. It's just saying, hey, my grief right now, of what's happening with her is very normal. It's just telling me it's because I love my parents so much. I love my mom so much. That's why. Yeah, that in itself already makes me feel better.
great.
Doing it that way.
Yeah.
What about, like, I know that, you and I have talked about how sometimes you get a little frustrated with your dad not doing what the doctor tells him to do to sustain a healthier lifestyle because, of all the other health conditions that he's already been diagnosed with. As their children, obviously we want to, keep telling them, you need to do this and this and stop doing this and that, for your health. Then, of course, very often they don't listen to us because I think in their eyes, we are still their children. How do you relinquish control over how your dad needs to better manage his health?
Mm, right. Wow, that's a great question. And so whenever I come into such dilemma and not very certain of whether I can win the situation or not, I remember a saying that goes like, "We can only try our best, and we've got to leave the rest in the hand of God."
Yeah.
Yeah, we can only try our best. So that is something that I keep telling myself.
Mm,
So and I think what is great about practicing mindfulness is that
mm,
it gives me, how to say, it gives me more hope. So it means that, so like today, my dad, he's still very stubborn and he doesn't really listen to me and my mom advice on how to take care of his health himself. Um, but I still leave a possibility that might be tomorrow or next week or next month. He
mm.
might change his mind. Yeah. But we don't know that. So, because there are so many unexpectedly good things have happened. Besides unexpectedly bad things happen. So we just leave the door open and see what will come.
Mm. Mm. So it seems like you're just taking, what he's doing now, whether even if you might not agree with it, you're just acknowledging the fact that this is the truth of only this moment.
Mm.
You are remaining open to what could change in the future.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking of telling you that I will get my parents to practice mindfulness with me.
Mm.
Yeah, because my mom recently she has shown some signs of dementia.
Mm.
Yeah, she became more forgetful than she used to be.
Mm.
And yeah, my dad, he is not very well aware of what's happening inside his body at all. So I think mindfulness practices would be very useful for them. And I'm also thinking of making such practice as a family activities like bonding activities.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Yeah. So
How receptive are they to that? Have you mentioned that?
um, so I think because there are many mindfulness practices that can be fun, like mindful eating,
Mm.
mindful walking, or mindful talking.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Those are some things that I'm having in mind now,
Yeah.
and help. I would get my parents to do it with me, and we really enjoy our time together.
Mm.
So yeah, so I think they would find those activities to be
Mm.
interesting, and then that would make them want to do it more and to do it on a regular basis, and we can build from that.
That
And
you're building from that. Yeah, I like how you're not going right into now let's just sit and go just do like a formal sitting meditation and silence. I don't Yeah, that might not be the best way to introduce mindfulness to somebody who's never practiced it. I think actually that might turn them off.
right,
It would
that's right.
drive them to boredom, but that you are introducing them the concept of mindfulness through activities that they already do every day, like eating, talking with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Mm.
And I think that is great about acceptance. So once we're acceptance of the reality, so we would know like which method would be the best fit for the situation,
Mm.
instead of rigidly imposing.
Mm.
Um,
That you must do
uh,
this first and then you do this first in terms of developing your mindfulness, right? Journey.
yeah, so we will be more flexible. Hence, it would
Mm.
be more feasible, I think.
Yeah, I like that. That you are, yeah, like you're not approaching them with mindfulness like a mindfulness curriculum. You're really looking at them as individuals and seeing what is really feasible for them and what they're able to accept only at this moment.
Right. Yeah.
Mm. I think I need to take the same approach of my mom.